The holiday lights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls, and I knew that this year, the season of joy would bring me nothing but nightmares. Our family home was adorned with festive decorations, the scent of cinnamon and pine filling the air. Laughter and warmth surrounded us as we gathered for our annual holiday celebration. Outside, the snow fell softly, muffling the world in a blanket of white. Yet beneath the cheerful facade, a sense of unease loomed, like a storm waiting to break. As the night wore on, I noticed strange occurrences. Objects moved when no one was looking, and shadows darted just beyond my line of sight. My younger sister, Lily, kept talking about her imaginary friend, a boy with bright red eyes who said he wanted to play. I dismissed it as childish fantasy, but my stomach twisted with unease every time she mentioned him. Then, during a game of charades, the lights flickered, and a cold draft swept through the room, silencing our laughter. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Last year, our neighbor had mysteriously disappeared during the holidays, and I had overheard my parents whispering about it late at night. I tried to push those thoughts aside, focusing instead on the holiday spirit. But when Lily started singing a haunting melody I had never taught her, chills ran down my spine. "It's a song he taught me," she said, her eyes wide with delight. I felt a knot tighten in my chest. Who was this boy, and why did he seem to be drawing her in? Suddenly, the lights went out completely, plunging us into darkness. We fumbled for our phones, but before we could turn on the flashlights, Lily's voice cut through the silence, sweet yet eerie. "He wants to play with us," she said. The temperature dropped, and I could feel a presence lurking just beyond our circle of light. A whisper brushed against my ear, how too soft to understand, but it sent ice coursing through my veins. I realized we were no longer alone. When the lights flickered back on, everything seemed normal again, except for Lily. She stood perfectly still, her eyes vacant, staring into the distance. "He's here," she said, and the room chilled with dread. I felt an unseen force gripping my throat, and I couldn't breathe. The shadows around us thickened, wrapping tighter and tighter, consuming the warmth of our home. My parents' frantic voices faded as I was pulled away from them, deeper into the darkness. I reached for Lily, but she merely smiled, her expression twisted in delight. As the darkness closed in, I realized the truth. The holidays had always been a mask, and now I was destined to join the shadows, forever trapped in a holiday nightmare. The lights twinkled cheerfully on the tree, but the festive cheer in my heart was overshadowed by the chilling thought. Something sinister was coming for me this Christmas. The snow fell silently outside, blanketing the world in white, but inside our old family cabin, a strange tension filled the air. The scent of pine mingled with something metallic, and the warmth from the fireplace couldn't chase away the creeping dread. Shadows danced on the walls as I hung ornaments, memories of laughter and joy swirling around me. Yet every time I glanced toward the darkened corners of the room, I felt an unseen presence lurking, watching. As night fell, the wind howled outside, rattling the windows. I decided to check the attic for decorations, hoping to dispel the unsettling feeling that clung to me. Climbing the creaky stairs, I found an old, dusty box labeled Family Treasures. Inside were forgotten ornaments, but also something else. An old, tattered journal belonging to my grandmother. As I flipped through the pages, my heart raced. Entries detailing strange occurrences and dark omens surrounding Christmas in our family, culminating in a haunting warning, "Beware the night of the red moon." My grandmother always warned us about the Christmas spirit that could turn dark if provoked. I remembered the stories she told about family members who went missing during the holidays, their last sightings marked by a red moon. I brushed it off as folklore, but now, as I felt the temperature drop and a heavy silence envelop the cabin, doubt seeped in. I thought of last year when my brother disappeared after arguing with me about our family traditions. Could this be connected? The thought twisted in my mind, wrapping around my heart like a vice. Just then, I heard a soft jingling sound, like distant bells. My heart raced as I turned toward the sound, the festive glow of the tree casting eerie shadows on the walls. I called out, hoping to break the tension, but the only response was a low, haunting laugh that seemed to echo from the corners of the room. Panic surged within me as I realized the laughter was too close, too familiar. I turned to find the figure of my brother standing by the tree, his eyes hollow and a twisted smile spreading across his face. "I've come home for Christmas," he said, his voice a chilling whisper that sent shivers down my spine. But something was wrong. His presence felt like a cold draft, a hollow imitation of the brother I once knew. I backed away slowly, my heart pounding, when the lights flickered, plunging the room into darkness. The jingling grew louder, and I could hear footsteps approaching, heavy and deliberate. As the red moon illuminated the cabin, I realized with horror that it wasn't just my brother who had come home. Dark forces had been summoned, and I was about to join the ranks of those who vanished each Christmas, forever trapped in the shadows of the holiday spirit. The fluorescent lights flickered ominously as I stepped through the rusted doors of Blackwood Hospital. They said the place was haunted, that no one who entered truly returned unchanged. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was waiting for me inside. The hospital loomed before me, its once white walls now a peeling gray, cloaked in shadows. The air was heavy with the scent of antiseptic, but there was something else, something sweet and decayed. I could hear distant echoes of machinery and hushed whispers that seemed to beckon me further into its depths. Every step felt like a descent into a forgotten nightmare. As I wandered the dimly lit hallways, the echoes grew louder, more frantic. I found a room marked psychiatric ward, with its door slightly ajar. Curiosity gnawed at me, and I pushed it open. Inside, the walls were covered in strange drawings, disturbing sketches of faces twisted in agony. My heart raced as I noticed one drawing seemed to be moving, the eyes tracking my every move. I backed away slowly, feeling a chill crawl down my spine. My friend Sarah had come here last year, searching for answers to her insomnia. She spoke of strange voices and visions that haunted her dreams. After her last visit, she vanished. I had hoped to find her, to uncover what happened. As I navigated deeper into the hospital, flashes of her laughter echoed in my mind, mingling with the sinister whispers of the hospital. Suddenly, the lights flickered once more, plunging me into darkness. A cold breath brushed against my neck, and I turned to find a figure shrouded in shadows, its eyes glowing with a malevolent hunger. "Welcome back," it whispered, and in that moment, I realized I wasn't the first to enter Blackwood, and I certainly wouldn't be the last. The walls of this hospital held more than just the lost souls. They craved new ones. As I rounded a corner, I was confronted by a mirror, its surface cracked and dirty. I caught a glimpse of something behind me, a dark silhouette that vanished the moment I turned. Realizing I was not alone, the whispers grew louder, transforming into anguished screams as I felt cold fingers brush my shoulder. I spun around, but there was nothing there, only the oppressive darkness closing in. I found myself in the psychiatric ward, surrounded by the lost souls of the past. The walls began to close in, and I realized the truth. I was now part of this haunted place, forever echoing Sarah's last words, trapped between the living and the dead.